you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lorena Aguirre and I post here on my YouTube channel every Monday and Saturday. So please don't forget to hit that like button, that bell button, and that subscribe button because it'll notify you guys every time I post a new video. Alright you guys, so today we are going to go ahead and start out with these extra long tips. I went ahead and cut them down and blended them before I had jumped on the camera, and now what I am using is this Desert Rose, and this is from Montage Nail Supply, and so are the tips. If you guys do want a more in-depth video of how I set up my hand, please be sure to comment down below and I'll go ahead and do a video for you guys like that, just because I know some people, they're kind of confused on how to replace the tips and so it doesn't end up ruining your hand. And this is the method that I use to put them on, and it doesn't end up messing up the hand, because you guys all know that the red iguanas are really expensive. Okay you guys, and then the size of brush that I am using for the set is a size 12. I feel like I kind of ended up gravitating back towards this size just because I do feel like it did end up helping me be able just to get up in the crevices of this red iguana hand, just because you guys, if you guys have ever worked with the red iguana hand, you guys know you need to be a little bit more detailed when it comes to around the cuticle, and I do feel like my size 16 brush is a little bit too big for me, especially ever since I had pinched the barrel. I feel like pinching the barrel on that one really made it hard for me to get up and tight into the cuticle area, so that is kind of why I've been gravitating more towards the size 12 brush. I am using a method that I had seen in a YouTube video that I do feel like it was very helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and link that down below. But basically what the video was how to do a one ball method. And that is something that I've been wanting to try for a really long time. And I feel like anytime I tried to achieve it, I was unable to do so. And so today I was like, you know what, I am actually going to try it. And I feel like the way she explained it was so nice and easy. So basically, if you want to try this, basically what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to dip your brush into the monomer and tap it only once. You know, when you go on your dapping dish and you kind of like swipe the liquid off, like sometimes I will do it up to 3 times, but it just really depends. But so basically you're just going to want to dip it in, scrape it on one side, and then dab it into your powder 3 times, and you'll have a bigger bead. And this basically allows you to be able to kind of control how much you are picking up. And the method that she used, you guys, once you watch the video, you guys will love the way she teaches and explains it, especially if you kind of need more something that it's like kind of more of a mental note, I guess. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and link that down below for you because I do feel like it was very beneficial for me. But I do feel like with this monomer and the size of brush that I am using, it would have gone great, because I feel like using Young Nails monomer with this acrylic system, I do feel like they work really well together. But using Young Nails monomer with not polish, honestly you guys, it is such a pain in the butt. So I do really need to make sure, if I am using not polished as monomer, I think I really do need to have their monomer on hand, or one that doesn't dry as fast. Because the monomer from Not Polish, honestly, since it works so well hand in hand, I feel like honestly I love theirs together. But if I try to use Not Polish's monomer with Montage, I feel like honestly I'm not a real big fan of it. But when I am using Young Nails monomer with Montage, I'm like in love. I feel like the ratio is perfect, so definitely recommend to try it. So if you guys are Young Nails monomer user, I feel like you guys would also love using the Montage. But yeah, so this allowed me to pick up bigger beads of acrylic, and then I ended up just being able to blend them out. But unfortunately, how long the set I am doing, I did end up actually having to do 3 beads of acrylic, or 3 to 4 beads of acrylic. The first nail, you guys will see that like I ended up doing a lot, but yeah. and then you're going to want to make sure that you're swiping the sides of the nail that you are working on, just because it helps really maintain the shape of your set that you're doing, especially since these are already a tip that is pre-shaped and you don't really even need to shape anything or do anything to them. You just really want to make sure that you're wiping your brush along the sides of the nail tip, just so it ends up maintaining that shape. Because you don't really want to spend all that money on getting these tips and then not being able to actually use them the way that they're supposed to be used. Because I do feel like having these tips, I do feel like it saves you a ton of time. So I highly recommend them. Even the stiletto tips, they have a whole bunch of tips that actually come in the shapes that you actually need, so you don't end up having to spend a whole bunch of time filing. And even if you need coffin ones as well, they do have those. And again, you guys, this is the Montage Desert Rose. Highly, highly recommend. It is a very, very soft nude pink. It's so pretty. I love it. I feel like this nude really goes with a lot of different things. So I did end up seeing a color from Not Polish. It was Pink Panther, I believe, or Nude Panther. And that was one that I was trying to get something very, very similar to in such short notice, just because I did want to do the set, and I felt like Nude Panther, I had seen it on Not Polished Theo's Instagram, and I thought, you know what, this would actually go really, really good with the set that I'm trying to create. So let me try to find one of my acrylics or make the acrylic so it could match that one pretty much exactly. Alright guys, now I'm just going to go ahead and add another bead of acrylic, making sure that my apex is there, just because I did feel like looking at it from the side it needed some more. So definitely when you are doing your acrylics, making sure you are looking from the sides and that apex is high enough, just because otherwise once you get into filing and say you're done filing and you end up seeing that it's not high enough, then you might feel like you need to want to go and add some more, and then you have to wait for it to dry in order to file again. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip the nail on the opposite sides and see which way I do need to shape it. I'm only going to be shaping one nail for you guys, so then you guys could pretty much see, just because I do feel like this step is time consuming. So basically what I went ahead and did the sides, and then I ended up going and doing the center, making sure that everything was nice and even. And then now what I'm doing is getting a medium sanding band, and I'm just going around the cuticle, and basically what this does is seal the cuticle, making sure that there is no acrylic on the skin or touching the skin, just because that will end up making you have lifting, and you really don't want that. And so this is basically how I ended up cleaning up and making sure that everything blended into the body of the nail. You guys, and that is what it looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my little medium-sized buffer, and this is a 180 grit on one side and 100 grit on the other. And so basically just all I'm going to do is making sure that I am buffing all of the nails, and once I am done with that, I'm going to go ahead and get my black, and that is from Colorline Gels. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe these nails down. I don't want there to be any dust, and I do feel like usually at this time I will have like my clients go wash their hands, and then I will end up polishing, just because it allows me not to have so much dust inside of the gels. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and apply my gel for my French tip. And so I ended up learning this method. I forgot where I learned it from, but basically what you're going to want to do is apply the gel to where you want your smile line to start, and then basically attach the lines to it. So if you want to do like, basically it's to help you figure out how high you want to go with your smile line. So I mean, of course you guys could go higher or lower than this. This is just what I wanted to do. And then I ended up just getting my bigger brush, and I ended up just filling in that leftover area. I do feel like this method is a lot faster, so I do not know where, I can't not remember for the life of me where I learned this from. I kind of want to say it was TikTok, but if I do find a video, I will definitely end up putting it on my Instagram story, just so you guys could all check it out and see like where I have learned it from and give that person credit. But yes, I do feel like this definitely really helps me distinguish where I want to start and end my Frenchies, just because I do feel like with Frenchies, I do feel like sometimes it is hard to see like where should I start, where should I end, and especially if you are doing all 10 fingers, I do feel like that is something that I struggled with, because French tips, before now, I hated doing French tips just because I felt like I ended up having to cut it into the acrylic. So before, when I first started doing nails, the only person I would do French tips on was actually my grandma, and I would end up doing the French tips, and I would actually end up cutting into the acrylic and then putting the white and the pink also. And so basically that ended up making it to where I was doing it on her and I would do fills on her, and honestly you guys, I hated doing French tips. But now it's the in thing again, so of course I have to learn it for my clients. So yeah, so basically this is the easiest way so far that I've been able to try it out. I have tried that little sponge technique where you end up putting it on the little stamping thing, and that does work, you guys. So if you guys do have one of those, I highly recommend trying that out. But it works better when you are doing it on an almond shape or a like anything rounded. I feel like it works really well on there. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and clean up this brush. The brush that I am using, it is a 3D art brush, but I do feel like it has such a perfect point to it that it really allows me to get in there and keep it nice and clean. So definitely, if you guys do have this brush, I do recommend using it as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and put that in the lamp for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and top coat this. This is kind of optional. You guys could do this or not do it. It's totally up to you guys. But basically all it is putting your top coat on and then doing your art over it and then top coating it again. I had learned this technique from Priscilla Nails, and basically what you want to do is that you want to do this because it ends up helping when you are doing your nail art. It makes it actually a lot smoother, and the gels, they don't want to run all over the place. So this is something that I do recommend trying out. But I ended up trying to do a foil with the blood drips, and honestly you guys, I did not like the way it looks. So if the nails look rough right here, it's because I filed it off and I decided I was going to start over. So it is just filed, and that's just how I decided to do it. But yes, I definitely recommend going in with a matte top coat and then doing your art over it, because it does help hold everything in place without the gels running into the cracks of the nail if you did not buff good enough. And when you are doing these blood drips, basically how you're going to want to do it is flip your brush like how I have mine, and then have a bead of gel and then drag it up and get lighter with your brush as you stroke up, if that makes any sense. But basically what that does, it allows, without having that much pressure on the brush, it really allows it to get thinner and thinner at the top, so it looks like a perfect blood drop. So, and you could see that on that one, it did have a little bead of gel that dripped to the tip of the brush, and then I went ahead and pulled up, and then now I am just swooping it into the other ones. You don't want any harsh lines when it comes to this. I do find that kind of swooping them into each other, I do feel like it ends up making a nicer effect, in my opinion. I'm sorry you guys can't see right here, but this is the easiest way for me to create my art. And I did want to leave this clip in here just so you're able to see how I work and what works for me, just because I know a lot of times it is so hard to figure out different techniques and different ways that something is going to work for you. So definitely recommend trying painting from different angles. Alright you guys, so this is the finished look. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I'll be back with more videos. Bye!